What up, guys? It's Rob the Shade back again with another video for y'all today. Talking about the illustrious, air quotes, Stacey Dash and her comments. So, if y'all haven't heard, the Oscars are in town. The Oscars are as some would say, the pinnacle of movie making. It's everyone's top dog accolade they want. For musicians, it's a Grammy. For regular people, Nobel Peace Prize. Scientists, probably a Nobel Prize in whatever field they're in. For the movies, the Oscars. Oscars is numero uno for a lot of people. So, this year, there were very few, if any, black people and black films nominated for the Oscars. I personally don't mind the Oscars. The Oscars do what they do. This was a problem last year. People got up all in arms about it last year. The Oscars going to Oscar. It is what it is. They don't get what's hot in the streets. You can't fault them for that. It's a bunch of old men that have been there for a very long time, voting on the same kind of movie. You know. So what are you gonna do about it? Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, criticized the Oscars and boycotted the Oscars, saying she won't go because her husband wasn't nominated for his movie Concussion. Now, I'm a Nigerian. I didn't see Concussion, but I saw the video. I saw a few trailers, and I can tell you that my accent is just as bad as his. Even though I'm first generation Nigerian, my accent is as bad as Will Smith's Nigerian accent, you know. But hey, I can claim it, he can't. I can pull it out. I can pull it out of me if I need it to happen for me. But he just sounded like a Nigerian scam artist. Shout out to Tax. But Stacey Dash, Fox News correspondent, she commented on this issue saying something along the lines of black people need to decide whether they want to have segregation or integration. Now, I'm not quoting her exactly. This is just an encapsulation of what she said. And basically, she's saying, if you want to be recognized at such an event like the Oscars, you need to make sure that you need to get rid of all the stuff you already have. No more BET. No more NAACP Image Awards. No more awards specifically for black people. Because if you want to be acknowledged at the table that white people are at, then don't have your own award shows. Now, my first reaction to what she said was, she crazy. And a lot of people would agree with what my sentiments are, that she is crazy. But there is some validation to what she's saying, but it's just so terribly put that, you know, you don't really pay any credence to it. So, segregation versus integration in Hollywood. That's the topic that she's referring to. Black people have been trying to fit into white society for a very long time. Very long time. Since before the days of Martin Luther King. Since before the Black Panthers, before any of that. Like, black people had just been trying to fit into white society, trying to assimilate, trying to learn the speech, trying to learn trying to learn the diction, trying to learn word choices and name themselves accordingly, and just try to fit in with the white man. It's been trying to happen for a long time. And the thing is that in Hollywood, there's very few black representatives in history. When you see the major films and major film roles, they go to white men or white women. Black men did not get any diversified roles. Black men, black women didn't get roles outside their stereotype until very recently. And even if that, it's going to be, Sandra Bullock and some big, humongous actor, 7 feet tall, play a football player. It's not really going out of your way to say, hey, a black dude can be more than an actor, a rapper, an athlete, drug dealer, gangster, barbershop owner, drunkard on the street. Black men can do more than that. Black woman is more than just a tight clothes wearing seductress. More than just the shea butter woman that wants to scream at everybody for no apparent reason. The scorned lover that gets left by her husband because he's no good. We're more than that. And it's unfortunate that there are no black films nominated for the Oscars, and there are no black actors nominated for an Oscar. But the proof is in what the Oscars are not to be at fault. The Oscars are not to be faulted for what's going on. In my opinion, what is to be faulted is the studios that put out the content. So the Oscars to me are just a symptom. The root cause of the problem are the studios and the agents they put out. The studios, the agents they put out searching for talent, and the projects that the studio releases. So you mean to tell me that there can be about 15 animated movies every year, and this is just pulling a number out of nowhere, but there can be 15 animated movies every year, but if you want to tell a real black story or a real story about focusing on black people, it's a whole other thing. This year there were only five movies viable for an Oscar. It was Dope with A$AP Rocky. I think that was released in the summertime. Straight Outta Compton. No dispute about that. Yeah, Creed. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan did a great job once again. They did it first with Fruitvale Station. You should watch that if you haven't done so. And then they did it again with Creed. But Creed was nominated only because Sylvester Stallone was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which he might win. Fourth was Beast of No Nation. First I heard about it was a few days ago, but it's with Idris Elba channeling his warlord, trying to be a guerrilla fighter in Africa. Fifth one was Concussion with Will Smith in a bad Nigerian accent. Now, that's 5. And you might say, yo, those are 5 fire movies. But to the Academy, to the voting body, you gotta think, how many movies were released this year alone? Easily over 150. And you have to choose one of those 5 to be there as like an honorary spot. do you even want an honorary spot if you're just going to choose from like 5 videos that were just good enough to even be considered? Not even good enough to like just good enough to be considered. Not you don't know if they're good enough to stand against like other Oscar worthy movies. And at the end of the day, the award is subjective because it's just people's opinions on what they think a good movie is. And again, these are the voting body is largely 50-year-old white men who are basically out of touch of what's going on in the streets that you and I walk on every single day. You know? So someone's tastes might lead him to vote, hey, The Revenant was a great drama. Okay. But we might say, hey, Creed revitalized the franchise, made it a black movie, and has some of the best cinematography we've seen via the real-time one-take boxing matches. And that deserves at least a nomination. Not even a win, just a nomination. You know? I don't know. This all. So Stacey Dash's comments are basically saying either you should fully assimilate or you should fully separate. Again, black people have tried to assimilate, but black people have been boxed into various stereotypes. It's hard to fight out of those stereotypes. And the studios that are releasing this content aren't helping the cause at all because they only they'll only greenlight certain films that portray certain aspects about certain lives. For example, you'll see TV studios greenlight anything and everything just as long as there's a redeemable actor there, white actor. Like Mike and Molly. Tell me why Mike and Molly works. Brutally honest, it's a obese couple living life. Fine, you can have that. Where's the black version of that? Hispanic, Asian. It's problematic, man. Where's the black version of, I don't know. Whatever. But my point is that actually I have no idea what my point is. I lost myself in my various tangents, but hold on. All black people want to see is themselves represented in a voting body. That's all. I mean, if that is too difficult for that to happen, then I don't know what to say to the Oscars. But I personally feel that I don't care at all about the Oscars. I know what I like seeing on a day-to-day basis, and I'm not going to consult the Oscar-winning or Oscar-nominated list for any movies that I'll watch, because I'll watch movies that are garbage movies. I will gladly watch All About the Benjamins 5 times, and I'll watch Friday 3 times over watching Crash 7 times or 8 times, because I like those movies. Those movies are funny to me. I'll watch a Kevin Hart movie before I start watching like another Birdman movie. Like, those don't appeal to me, you know? I'll watch The Transport before I watch Argo. It's just my opinion, you know? And it is ironic how Stacey Dash is saying all these things on the network that came up on black people. Here's the thing. Fox, when it was just a fledgling network competing against the titans of ABC, CBS, NBC, they needed to find a way to get into the market. How did they do that? They went for the black viewership. They had amazing shows in the 90s, ran them on the network. They got the black viewers, it gave the channel and the network legs, and from then on, it shot off to do what they really wanted to do. White conservative media. Shout out to Fox News, not at all. In the 90s, they had some of the best programming on that you could even imagine. Mad TV on the weekend, sketch comedy show. What's his name? Aries Spears on the show. Great comedian. They also had Martin. Also had Living Single. Come on. Those two great shows. Martin is iconic, you know. So Fox came up off the back of black viewership, and I find it ironic that their correspondent is jumping out the window and saying black people need to decide on segregation or integration. The problem is that white people don't see any representation of what's on the TV screen. So now it's a problem for us to have one channel or like 5 channels. It's BET. I don't consider it to be black channel because it's owned by white people. TV One, Revolt owned by Diddy. You got Centric. You got OWN Network. I'm probably missing some other ones, but that's 5 right there. How many channels are on cable? How many channels can you get? How many channels did you get locally that were purely for white people? ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, WB, UPN was for us, but then they merged with the WB, became the CW, and then they got rid of all the black programming. Then you got Telemundo. I can't speak Spanish. I try to spit game, fails miserably, but I try. We didn't, and then you had WGBH, which was public programming, as well as not focusing on black people. So, what are they trying to say? Like, we just want one channel. Back when I was growing up, all I had was UPN. Watched Moesha. Watched, what was that show? Watched Moesha. There was another show with Kim and Miss Parker. Probably Steve Harvey show on UPN. Oh man. I forgot the names. There were so many good shows on UPN. And why did I think they were good? Because they looked like me. Which is pretty important. If you don't see yourself in media, you're just going to wonder, like, where are the people that look like me? You know? A white kid can go and sit down and watch Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network and see kids like them all the time. Cartoon Network, not so much because it's just cartoons, but Nickelodeon, watch sketch comedy shows, laugh tracks, and sitcoms. See kids just like them. And it's like, so you can see this kid with the flowing locks and, you know, the part, and, you know, he's like probably 12 years old and 5'5", and like he flings his hair the right way and he looks hella attractive. What's a 12-year-old kid with a coconut head that has a skin complexion of had the skin complexion of, if he'd be outside, he'd be crackling like fucking like Rice Krispies after you put in the milk. With the crusty, where's that kid with the brown skin that would turn crusty white if he was outside in 18-degree weather? I rarely see that kid. For every kid that's there with the coconut head and the crusty ass skin in 18-degree weather, there's about 5 Tylers, 6 Shannons, and about 7 Skywers. I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. It's all black people want is representation. We're looking for representation. We're looking for people like us on these platforms. That's why Fox had to double down again on black people. Their viewership was down again. Guess what they did? Empire came on, and now Fox is back and better than ever. Empire, #1 show. We run it. You see, it's just like, we're struggling. We're not getting our viewers. Black people started going to cable because now they can see VH1 has all the Love and Hip Hops, all the Basketball Wives, all that kind of stuff. MTV2 has Joking Off, Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out, Charlamagne's Uncommon Sense. You see black faces there. And black people go to where they can see black faces. The networks don't like that. So they started making these shows. They made Blackish, which is a great show. They made Fresh Off the Boat. Great show. They made Empire. Questionable show. But they made it. Now networks are trying to find their niche black show so that they can rake in the viewership. You know? So they want our time, they want our eyeballs on the screen, and they want the monies. But they don't want to but when it comes to saying, hey, we want this, some people want to start saying, oh, you don't want that. Why would you want that? There's no need to want that. My opinion is that you can ask for whatever you want. It's not on anyone to say yes or no, but it's not on anyone to say yes, no, even listen to what you're saying. But if you don't say it, then no one's going to notice that, oh, they wanted this? I had no idea. If you don't say you're hungry to your mama won't know you're hungry. Your mama needs to ask you if you're hungry if you don't say anything. If I wanted to go with my girl to mini golf, I always have to ask her, yo, do you want to go mini golfing? If I was just a straight up savage, I would say, yo, we're going out. And then she would ask me, where to? And then I would say, man, we going out. Get your purse and let's go. See, that's real savage. I ain't no savage. I'm just a regular dude who's making videos for my entertainment. And for your consumption, obviously. You're a part of this. Don't forget it. But when it comes to Stacey Dash and her opinions on either segregation or integration, I feel that black people need representation. We need to see ourselves on the screens more. Because if there's all this airtime with with pasty, mayo-colored white people. That's cool. You can have that. But then what? But then if you're not going to let black people get the same amount of time on the same networks, then let us have our own stuff. Or not let us. We're going to make our own. And when we started making our own, and when other smaller networks started saying, "Hey, black people, we got you." Now white people started saying, "Hey, our dollars are down. The regular family is not watching TV as much, but hey, these African Americans, they're watching TV a lot. They're consuming a lot of media. We need to get them back on our side." And why do you want them back on our side? Because they got the $1 trillion worth as a collective. They got $1 trillion in spending. And they want that viewership. They want those eyeballs on the screen because they know black people consume media more than anybody. So when it comes to Stacey Dash and their comments, they do deserve some mulling over. They deserve a discussion. The internet is not the place for it. The internet is basically to get your two cents in. But I feel that she was misguided, and she's probably just leaning on the concept of, I'm on this network, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do what I want because they paying me. But once those checks stop coming, and once the fame is over for Stacey Dash, all she got is her being a black woman. And if she's a black woman, the people that Fox wants ain't gonna want Stacey Dash. So she's making her own bed by what she's doing, but it's her opinion at the end of the day, and I'm not gonna get mad over it. But there's a lot of unpacking to do with the representation of black film and black media, and specifically what she's referring to, the Oscars. The studios aren't doing a very good job of putting it out there, putting any black movies out there, and there's not enough black movies to even consider saying, "Hey, can we have a black movie to be nominated?" Because if the major studios are going to release 150, 200 to 250 movies every year, and only 5, 10, 15 of them are going to be black movies, that's a very low probability that even one will be nominated for an Oscar. So representation is important. And if black people just stop supporting white award shows and white things, and then start supporting what we should support, things that shows and award shows that support black people, then we wouldn't have a discussion. If the BET Awards was our Oscars, it'd be a different story. People don't care about the BET Awards, but they care about, when it comes to music, artists don't care about the BET Awards. They care about the Grammys. Omarion cares more about the Grammys than the BET Awards. He wasn't there to pick up his BET Award for Post to Be, but he's saying that Post to Be deserves a Grammy. Nicki Minaj routinely wins a BET Award, but sometimes she doesn't show up because she feels she's over it. You gotta value your own. You got people that are willing to say you are amazing, but you want validation from people that don't give a damn about you. I don't know what to say about that, but obviously I've spoken way too long. So thank you for staying with me. If you're still with me, that's all I have to say. My name is Monsieur Rob the Shade, and thank you for sticking with me. I'm out, man. Peace to y'all. Blessings to y'all. Bless up.